Welcome to the second part of the tutorial, guys, where we are going to be saving the actual information onto the SD card, and this will allow the user to go back and find that picture or that sound without even using our application, because we're going to save it into either his photo gallery or into his ringtones folder, basically whatever folder we want. Enough talk, more play. In the previous tutorial, we kind of set up everything and we checked if the SD is available, and if it is it writable? And if both those are true, we're going to allow our application to save some data to the SD card. So let's go back into one of our on-click listeners. This depends on which button they pushed. So we're going to save a picture first. Both of them are going to be pretty much the exact same, so you can end up saving any type of file. So first we're going to do a quick if statement to check if the SD is available and if it's writable, okay, or it is writable. That's the first condition. If both those aren't true, we are not gonna try and save to the SD card. Makes sense. The next thing that we need to do is we need to find the directory where we want to save the file. So we're either going to locate the picture directory, the music directory, the ringtone directory, pretty much any type of directory we want to save to. A lot of these are already defined for any Android operating system, and this will work for any Android application that you're developing that's above or equal to a API level of 8. And since we're doing an Android 2.2, that's an API level of 8, so we're going to be fine. So first we're going to call this the path. So file path is equal to, again, the environment. We used the environment class a little bit earlier when we get the external storage state. We're checking if the SD card is available. We're going to refer to it again. This time we're going to say get external public storage directory. So again, this is going to be public, where the user can get out of our app, delete our app, and then go into their picture or their gallery file and still see what pictures we saved from our application. So we're actually saving to the person's phone, not somewhere within our own application. And how we're going to refer to the directory we want to save to is again through the environment class. We're going to say dot, and we have all these options. So we have directory movies, directory music, ringtones, pictures, pretty much anything that we want. We can access it. So that's pretty awesome. Since we're saving a picture, we're just going to save it to their picture gallery. So anytime I develop an app, I save a picture of my face in their gallery. And then they're searching through and they're like, who is this guy? Why is there a picture of this guy in my phone? So now we've defined the path where we want to save our picture. The next thing that we have to do is define the actual file name. Picture.jpg or whatever, .png. That's kind of the information we're going to give it now, the specific name. But since again we have an edit text, we're going to refer to that edit text and just get whatever is in the edit text, which is file name. So we're just going to create a string real quick. Name is equal to file name, which is our edit text, dot get text, dot toString, and that converts whatever is in that edit text to a string. Lastly, we're going to combine these two things together. We're going to refer to the directory and also the file name to actually save to the person's phone. So again, it's going to be a file, and this time it's going to be called file. We're going to create a new file, and we're going to refer to the path. Again, this is the directory we're saving. Then we want to give it the name. Okay, so then we're going to refer to our string name. We're also going to add the attachment .png because I'm going to save this exit PNG to their phone. So I want to make sure the extension is PNG as well. Okay, so now we've set up everything. We have the name of the file and the place where we're saving. The next thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that our directory actually exists, the path, because we don't want to try and save it to a folder that doesn't exist. It should, since we're saving it to the pictures. Let's just check if that path exists. So we're going to say path. So we're going to make directories. So what we're doing with this command right here is it's saying, hey, does this directory exist? If it does, it's going to return false. That's kind of like a true or false type thing here. If that directory exists, it's going to return false. If it doesn't exist, it's going to create a directory for us, this specific directory. So all we're doing is we're checking if the directory exists. If it doesn't, it's going to create one for us. Pretty simple, right? After we make sure everything exists, we're going to create our input and our output stream. So input is is equal to, and this is going to be what we're trying to save, what we're putting into their phone. So how we're going to do this is we're going to get our current resources, again the resources of our application, and we're going to say dot open raw resources, and that's going to open up our actual resource in our resource folder. And then we have to give it the identifier. So again, I was going to save this exit picture just because I had it on my phone. So I'm going to refer to the r.drawable.exit. So now that we have a resource, we actually have to create an output stream. I believe we covered this in a previous tutorial when we were working with internal data. I'm not for sure, but output stream, we want to create a new output stream. Again, we're shooting the information out from our app to the place where we want it to go. We're just going to call this OS, and this is going to be a new file output stream, and we give it the file that we want to save. Again, the directory we're going out to, and up here we defined all of our information with the path and the file name, so that's what we're going to pass as our file output stream. If you guys never worked with data before, these input and output stream, that all seems probably kind of confusing, but really it's quite simple after you work with it, so don't get discouraged. I promise you it's going to be really easy working with this kind of information after you do it a couple times. So don't give up. Moral of the story. The next thing that we got to do is we need to create a byte array. So this is going to be our data that we're saving. And I'll kind of go over everything in a second because, like I said, it might be confusing if you've never written data before or read data or anything like that. So all the data is going to do is going to take our input stream, again our picture resource, and we're going to convert it into a bunch of data, which is going to be an array. So what it's doing right now is it's checking, so what it's kind of doing is it's breaking down that picture, and it's adding the information that breaks down into our data array or a byte array, as long as that information is still available. As long as we still have stuff to read, it's still going to add information into this data variable. Once there's nothing left available to read, that means we have the whole entire that means we have all of the data available to us already, so there's, it's done reading the data pretty much. And so the next few things that we got to do is refer to our input stream, and we're going to say read data, and then we're going to refer to our output stream. It's going to say write data, and then we got to close them both. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're getting some errors because we still have to surround this stuff with a try and catch, catching exceptions when we can't write data or stuff like that. But again, let me just kind of talk through everything. Or actually, let's add our try and catch real quick. So add a try and catch. And then we're going to grab all this information that's not within our try and just throw it in there because we can. Let's also just throw that in there for good measure. And then we're going to add a catch clause, and we should be good. Okay, so again, all we've done is we check if we can read and write to the SD card. If we can, we're going to look for the directory of pictures, where the picture directory should be on the phone. Again, we do that through the environment class. Then we're going to give it the actual name of the file we want to create. So it's going to be like whatever we put into the edit text. Then we're going to create that whole path and file name put together. We're calling that file. That's the location and where we're going to save our picture data. The next thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that the picture directory is actually there. If it's not there, it's going to create that directory for us. And then we do a input stream. Again, this is just getting the information about the picture that we're going to save to the person's phone. So it's just taking the information from our drawable folder and getting the exit ping. Next, we're just defining an output stream as a new file output stream. Again, we're opening up a black hole. I think I did that thing. I don't know. We're opening up this black hole, and we're telling it where we want to throw in data and where we want the data to end up, which is going to be, again, our path and our file name. Next, we're going to create a data array of all the information about our picture. Again, we're just going to take any information from our picture, suck it up into the black hole, convert that into a data array. The next thing that we want to do is we want to refer to the input stream. Again, we're reading the information about our picture, or all the data that we gathered about the picture. We're reading that information, and then we're writing that information to the location through the file output stream. Then we have to close both of those things. So that's kind of the basic structure. The errors that we can get is a file not found exception. So if we can't find the exact file that we're referring to, it'll just log that into our logcat down here. And also, anytime we're working with input streams and output streams, we need to use the file or the input-output exception here, just in case something goes awry. We're going to catch that information and print it to our screen as well. So let's just test this out. It's not going to work on our emulator because there's no SD card. So I'm just going to throw it onto my phone, show you guys how this works. Okay, the first thing that you need to do when you run it on your phone, take this guy out, because anytime this is in, it's going to say, hey, you can't write to the SD card because we're plugged in and a computer is using your SD card. So make sure you take that out, let your SD card come back so we can use it. Then open this up, and we're going to save a file. I'm going to save a file called trav, something like that. Then we're going to save this picture. We probably should create like a toast to say that it actually saved. But again, we save that within our picture folder. So let's go out of our application, see if it saved. So it wasn't actually in the gallery. What you want to do is you want to go into the files here, the SD card, and then find the pictures folder. And as you can see, there's two items in there. One is trav.png. Not sure what that cache is. But as you can see, it works. We saved that exit image and we labeled it as trav.png. So that's the basic concept. I know, again, like I said, it's probably a little bit confusing if you've never done or you've never worked with data, but hopefully you're getting it. We've worked with saving internal data and external data. The next tutorial is probably just going to be a review where we save the information to the music file folder, and also we might try to refactor some of this code and make it a little bit, better. And we'll also learn about saving the music to the person's phone. So again, thanks guys for watching, and please check out the next video. Please subscribe. Please give thumbs up, because that's like the only way for us to know that this is actually helping or not. So again, make sure you do that, and I will catch you guys later. Hope you're having a great day, and keep it real.